Role-playing games might have come a long way since the pen and paper days, but the thrill of being in the shoes of someone cooler never changes. So with 2020 coming up, here are our top 10 upcoming RPGs.
Do not mock me! You've got no hope of beating me.
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. One of Bandai Namco's biggest titles next year may be something we've experienced over and over again, but they promise it'll be as awesome as the first time. First introduced to us as Dragon Ball Project Z, its new name Kakarot suggests we'll be taking on the shoes of Goku in one of the most popular arcs of the series.
You have just witnessed the birth of the ultimate Martian!
We won't get much surprises in terms of story, but there's still a lot going for the game thanks to its revitalized visuals and action RPG gameplay. Other than Goku, we'll also get to see other favorites in action, either as support to help in battle or actual playable characters.
You can also launch a Z combination attack with your support character to trigger a flurry of powerful blows, followed by a massive energy blast.
Bandai Namco has been showcasing all of them. Last time, we got a sneak peek of some sweet Super Saiyan Vegeta gameplay, and more recently, a brief look into the Majin Buu arc. Luckily for us, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is coming soon to the PC, PS4, and Xbox One on January 17. Final Fantasy VII Remake. While everyone loved the narrative and gameplay of Final Fantasy VII despite its old low polygon looks, Square Enix is bringing it back not just for a new makeover, but a ground-up restructure. We'll be reliving the same battle against evil that Cloud and his friends had, but this remake will present it with a seamless blend of modern action and traditional turn-based combat.
非常にいわゆるコマンド RPG が好きな人はそちらのモードでやると非常に遊びやすいかと思います。
Gather up power with the active time battle meter and use it all up to get into tactical mode that slows down time and lets you choose spells and combat maneuvers. Aside from combat, the recent TGS trailer also suggests that they're dedicated to keeping all the weirdness that made Final Fantasy VII great. That means we'll get to see Honeybee in cross-dressing and an expansion of the squatting minigame. The first chapter of the renewed adventure will be coming out exclusively on the PS4 on March 3, 2020. Nioh 2. Despite all the new competition in the world of Japanese action RPGs, Nioh attempts to one-up their original game's stellar execution. With almost everyone praising the detail and action of Nioh, Team Ninja expands on their gorgeous world of yokai by going back a few years. In Nioh 2, we'll be faced with a new standalone story where we play a customizable character that's part human and part yokai. Together with him, we venture through the Dark Realms to fight a new selection of mythical monsters alongside the great warlords of Japan's history. Nioh 2 is still essentially a single-player experience. However, the improved multiplayer, which allows up to 3 players, will definitely make the yokai battles that much easier. Their open beta was available from November 1 through 10, and it looks like changes might be necessary after one player defeated all the bosses with not even one upgrade. We'll see how it goes for the rest of us when Nioh 2 comes out exclusively on the PS4 this March 13th. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Vampire the Masquerade, the tabletop RPG, has been going since 1991, but with the last full video game release dating back to 2004, this upcoming sequel is a breath of fresh air for fans of the two cult classics. Continue your vampiric adventures in the 21st century and settle into underworld gloom of nighttime Seattle. Getting your fangs wet with blood might still be important. There's also plenty of whacking, hacking, and shooting, as long as you make sure you get enough silver bullets. Whoever you are, where you're from, and whatever you choose remains a massive part of Vampire's gameplay. And it's all gonna look even better with Nvidia's real-time ray tracing tech, if you can live without your own reflection, that is. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is coming out on the PC, PS4, and Xbox One in March 2020. Cyberpunk 2077. When it comes to discussing RPGs, you can't miss out on CD Projekt Red's new IP, Cyberpunk 2077. After their send-off to Geralt of Rivia in The Witcher 3, a game known for its grand scale and immersion, CD Projekt Red is moving on to an even bigger scale with a world of dystopian sci-fi. While it's being lauded for its rugged beauty of its open-world environment and the variety of its population, Cyberpunk is at its core an RPG. As such, you'll be able to customize everything about the main character V, not just in terms of appearance and body modifications, but also their origins through things called life paths. Give them street kid backgrounds and they'll be able to weave through gangs easier, but if you choose a corporate background, you'll have advantages in the thinking and operations of the various corporations. All that plus the satisfying battles and romances too will ensure Cyberpunk will be the time sink we expect it to be.
Proceed. What's going on?
Cyberpunk 2077 is set to release on the PC, PS4, and Xbox One on April 16th. Werewolf the Apocaypse Earthblood. 2020 is going to be a big year for tabletop RPG masters White Wolf Publishing. Not only will there be a sequel to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, but Werewolf the Apocaypse Earthblood is also coming to light as the next video game adaptation. The world has had its share of vampire games, but this may be one of the few games that will give us a look into the complicated lives of the mythical half-man, half-wolf. In the lore of White Wolf's World of Darkness, werewolves show a deep connection to nature as warrior protectors of Gaia. Earthblood keeps faithful to the premise, putting us in the shoes of a banished werewolf fighting a vampire-led corporation and the pestilence they bring. There isn't a lot of gameplay out at the moment, but Cyanide is looking to play at the natural inner turmoil as you balance between the heavy metal rage of the wolf and the sober reason of man. Werewolf the Apocaypse Earthblood is coming out sometime in the second or third quarter of 2020. Persona 5 The Royal. The Phantom Thieves may have stolen our hearts back in 2017, but 3 years later, Atlus seems to have a lot more up their sleeves and they're taking it all out for this definitive edition. Although it's not an entirely new game, the features that it's packed with are enough to give even old players a whole new experience. Persona 5 The Royal includes a new Phantom Thief, an entire semester of new gameplay, brand new locales, and a personal palace you can customize as you see fit. As relationships play an important part of Persona 5's DNA, The Royal also offers new ways of developing them. For one, phone calls have been expanded to allow for making actual conversations, and on another note, you'll also be able to give gifts to your male confidants too. The Japanese version has been available for a while now, but Western fans will have to wait for Persona 5 The Royal to drop sometime in 2020. Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon. Sega's latest installment to their RGG Yakuza series is oozing with JRPG love, and it's as wild a ride as ever. Yakuza, Like a Dragon, introduces a new protagonist in Ichiban Kasuga, who gets his first taste of freedom after taking the fall for his boss and spending 18 years in prison. Acting as a parody of JRPG tropes, this installment comes with a few gameplay changes, particularly its controversial switch from the series' real-time combat to something more akin to turn-based battles. The JRPG inspirations don't stop there. There's also the Persona 5-like interface and getting to pick between an array of job classes that offer varying abilities. It's just the kind of crazy hijinks you'd expect from the Yakuza series, and it even comes complete with a twist on Mario Kart. Yakuza 7, Like a Dragon, will be out in Japan by January, but Western fans will have to wait further into 2020. Baldur's Gate 3. Larian Studios has been climbing up the ranks as one of the leading makers of RPGs since their Divinity series began. Now they're giving the daunting task of reviving one of the most iconic role-playing games ever. Baldur's Gate 3 won't be a direct sequel to the original. It will, however, stay faithful to their roots. Having been born out of the Dungeons & Dragons universe, this third entry will be the first to adapt 5th edition D&D rules. This means there will be more than a few changes in abilities, dice, and things like advantages or disadvantages, which will feel unfamiliar to those who haven't played D&D since the 4th edition. With that said, we still don't know whether it'll be going for Divinity's turn-based system or Baldur's Gate's original real-time with pause. Considering Larian Studios' repertoire, it might not matter either way. There's no confirmed release date for Baldur's Gate 3 yet, but it's set to release on the PC and the Google Stadia.
Hell is coming, brother. Hell is coming.
Diablo 4. Blizzard hasn't been having a great time with the press, and this surprise, despite being a massive franchise, was still met with some trepidation. With the 9-minute trailer that introduces the Blessed Mother Lilith, there was some excitement around their awesome cinematics. But they didn't stop there. We were also treated to 24 minutes of gameplay of their Barbarian, which showed off their new dark and gritty visuals. Diablo is one of the more established names in the RPG business, and as such, with this 4th installment, they're hoping to bring in features and classes from the older titles like Diablo 2, as well as pay homage to the soundtracks of the original game. From what we are seeing, it seems like it's going to be a simpler, more online experience. While we're not going to be getting the full release anytime soon, the recent leaks suggest that we'll be getting a closed beta for Diablo 4 in 2020.